You'll have flexibility
Oh, you're
in
here?
what it is you want to do. And then, of course, there's Grandma Ginny.
Oh, no. Sophia's here. Go Sophia next.
Sophia.
Come here.
Sophia's back.
It's your turn.
You want to go sit in your chair again, please? Because I didn't talk.
Stand
no.
right there. Grandpa
No,
wants
stand
to
next
talk
to
about
You
Grandpa.
can just stand here, or do you
Stand
want to
next
sit
to
down?
Marcos. Sit with
You want to sit down?
Marcos. Sit on Marcos'
Okay.
lap.
Sit on his lap, honey.
Sophia
Yeah.
had a pretty good year.
Yeah.
Pretty.
You were not always the best in school, were you?
I wasn't.
You weren't.
She can't keep any. She cannot keep a
She
secret.
cannot keep a secret.
Good.
But
Put your hands down.
But at other times, she was great in school. So you gotta work on that for next year. But her extracurricular stuff this year has been terrific. Her surfing was just incredible to believe how well you did that. I have a hard time understanding how you do it, but you did it. Couldn't be more proud. Now you're into roller skating. And of course you're doing dancing. And the rides at Carolina Beach all the time.
What did I miss?
You missed something?
And January 1 of last year, or this year, excuse me, and January 1 of this year, she is going to join the Polar Bear Club.
No, it's her second year membership.
Yeah,
Second
second
year
year. She did January 1 of this year, and this coming January,
What's the polar bear club?
January 1,
that's going into the ocean
When?
on January 1.
January 1.
January 1.
January 1, when it's cold as can be.
At Atlantic Beach.
She's going in.
Oh,
This
with
year.
Rob?
Well,
Yeah.
I don't think I am Grandma because I'm going back to school.
And
No,
what do
but
you
you're-
have the end of January?
That's a couple days before you go back to school.
She has the piano recital.
And she's playing piano.
Nice.
Wow.
She's doing piano. My
Wow.
gosh, she's a busy girl.
She's
Sophia.
diversified.
A real busy girl. She has a piano recital the third or fourth Sunday in January that we're going to go to, right?
Yep, at a nursing home.
Oh.
Jana, you coming back?
Your turn.
What'd you call her?
Uncle Joey,
Yes, dear.
I wanted to hear some Buddha.
You ready now? All right, let Grandpa talk about Grandma, and then I'll put it on.
Okay.
And he said to me just about 4 or 5 days ago when she was a little ticked off at me. Dad, here you are, and I know we're gonna sit down at the table Christmas Day, and you're gonna come off all nice and peach and creamy. Such a
Yeah.
SOB.
How true. So true.
Not new to anybody here at this table, but she's still working at Duke Raleigh. Keeping going, made this dinner. Wait till you see the dinner, how many courses it is.
35 years at Duke.
Just keeps 35 years at Duke. Just keeps going with her positive attitude. She hasn't shaken what we're dealing with, but she's dealing with it as good as anybody can deal with it, without a doubt. And her visit with her her first
Her number one.
grandchild, not her number one,
Oh, yeah.
her
We all
first
know.
grandchild, Anthony, Aunt, her first, in September, just did her, she's been flying ever since. She's just a joy to behold. Is frustrating at times, more than frustrating, but I couldn't be more proud of her and her attitude in what she does.
Why?
I went to I'm telling you, I went to a wedding of a girl that she works with in October, I guess it was October. Pretty recent, that she's worked with for a couple of years. We went to the wedding reception, and the people there who work with her, who know her, you know, work as a worker, co-worker, and I guess her boss was there too, couldn't be more, I don't know if the word is proud, but honored. Honored is a better word, to be with you.
Cheers.
Cheers to Grandma and everyone else.
Everyone
Kelly
tell Anthony bye.
Love you, Anthony.
Anthony, great to see you.
Sophia, come back
Anthony,
over
I
your
love
chair.
you.
Let Marco sit.
Love you.
I want to say a little thing. This dinner was a request from my first granddaughter,
Gotta get you around.
and it was kind of exciting. I always worried about the beat. Is it this? Is it that? And this did bring back a lot of memories for me. And now I know why my grandmother, I don't remember her sitting at the table. And now I know why.
Love you, Mommy.
Hey,
Anyone
so,
else wanna say
Yeah,
anything?
so everyone, you know, Dad goes around and talks about everybody, but no one ever says anything about Dad at all. So nothing big, but everybody say, you know, a little line, a little sentence, a little something about our patriarch,
What could you say?
the patriarch of the family. So I'm not going to start.
You have
I'm
to
gonna put
start.
everybody on the spot, but I'm not gonna start.
I'll start.
Start with host.
We'll start with Josue. All you gotta do, it's nothing big. You say something about Grandpa. You say thank you. You say whatever you want to say about Grandpa.
Okay, thanks, Grandpa.
There you
You're
go.
welcome.
That was easy, right? There you go.
For me, since I've been in this family, this is the one part that I've always enjoyed. Sitting, when we come for either Thanksgiving or Christmas, and you always do what you just did. I look forward to that very much, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy your positivity and sensitivity and welcoming me into your household, and just a joy to be around. Make everybody happy.
Thank you.
I think there was a Christmas that we came to expect a PowerPoint of a trip because we got so many, and we've just been really blessed that you've taken the time and money to plan such amazing events to bring us all together. And I don't know many families that are as close as ours, and we're just really lucky that we can do this, and you're the glue and the big piece of that. So thank you for being the man of this family and just loving all of us and being our biggest fan.
I'd like to thank you for always accepting me and being such a gracious host for me and bringing me into the family. I wish you would keep your passwords a little better organized, but I appreciate you always welcoming me in and making me feel part of the family. Thank you.
You're welcome, Robbie.
Thanks, Sacco.
I'm going to tell a little story about Dad. So, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, I was pretty upset one night. It was about 2 weeks ago.
I don't like to hear that.
So I was very upset with an ex-person for me. And so I called up Dad and was F every word. And how dare her. And F. And I hung up the phone. And the next day I stopped by here to drop off something. And I'm still enraged. And I'm like, F that lady. Who is she to talk about my old marriage? F her. And Dad says to me, I know you're upset, but I do not like that word coming out of a female, especially my daughter. You know what? I don't even like that word coming out of anybody. So I said, Dad, I was screaming in the room, and I said, I don't feel good, and I feel better. And he goes, stop saying that word. And so I got in the car, and the whole way down the driveway in reverse, I yelled. And the neighbor came out, and I said, I love you, Daddy. And drove off. And I felt better, because my dad always listens to me. If I'm upset, he listens to me. If I'm happy, he listens to me. If I'm happy, he's happy for me. If I'm upset, he's upset with me. And I just love Bobby says, if your dad likes it, you like it. If your dad thinks you should do that, then you do it. And I know Bobby's probably gonna be.
Oh, that's a
upset.
favorite move. I'm like, your dad would do that. She's like, okay, then we'll do it.
I was mad at my dad because I asked him to do something for me. I told him it was something I wanted for Christmas. It wasn't a monetary thing. And what does Dad do? This family does not keep secrets at all, especially
And so
her.
does I.
I know. Well, he brings it up. And so Bobby and I leave. This is like, what, December 22nd, 23rd? And he's like, why didn't you ask me to do that? And I said, well, I can't really. My dad is my safety person, and he can do that. It would have put you in a compromising. And my dad has you're a more morally compass
you're
person.
confusing people.
And my dad isn't. My dad gets angry. We get angry. We get emotional. I love you, Daddy. So you're my best friend. You're a huge sport.
What did you say?
Well, I gotta follow that.
No, you did stop telling me that I'm not allowed to say the F word ever around him ever again, because women don't talk like that.
Quite a story.
Men shouldn't either.
I know. Yes, honey.
Like chastise Anthony.
The pasta's getting, oh, pick this up.
Mommy.
Oh, you wanna say something? My grandpa?
Uncle Sean's gonna talk.
I'd like to thank my father, yes, for some of the things I already said. He is the rock of our family, and he's our stabilizer that we look to, and we always think of him and depend upon him. That he's always there. That you're gonna call the house, and he's always answered the phone. He's here. You can count on him to be around. I think back to some of our recent guys' trips. We didn't do one this past year. No, we didn't do one this past year, so maybe we're due for one soon. I know he enjoys those, and so do I. I hope we can do more things like that. If it's not,
A few more guys.
Yeah, we have. It's a bigger group. It's a
Yeah.
bigger group.
Pasta's getting cold.
Marcos, you get older, you can tag along.
Yeah, that's what I say. Maybe you guys can come like this.
All right, Sophia, you say something about Grandpa.
What does he do when you sleep here?
He sleeps on the couch, and I don't have to sleep with us tonight.
He gives you his bed.
He gives me his bed. But I have a feeling he's gonna be sleeping with you or not tonight, Grandma. I think.
Maybe. I say you either marry a warrior or a marshmallow.
Pasta.
And I married a warrior because I like being taken care of. But living with a warrior, it's not easy. And while I gripe and I tell him that thank God he didn't marry a shrinking violet or he'd mow her down, that he needs me to stand up to him, he's still my stabilizer, my rock. And I love the way he can look at a problem and get to the root of it, to the nub of it, and then have such good input. He's been a good influence in my life, and family just comes first. Yeah. We shared that priority from the beginning.
Grandma.
Salute.
Salute, Daddy.
I wish y'all would talk to me.
I just want to say thank you for accepting me into the family and treating me and Ryan like we were your own grandchild.
Like what?
Like we were your own grandchild.
You are.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
The two of yous are.
I almost wished I was sitting on the other side of the table because I'm thinking about what to say.
Everybody already took it on.
No, I think, dealing with the cancer the way you have, that's probably the first thing I thought of. You've handled that. It's not about you at that point, it's about her. And, you got that. But, when you know that you have to do what you have to do, it still takes away, no, it doesn't take away, but you knew that was your job. So you've done that job very well. because you had to play a role, and you have played that role really well.
Uncle Joey.
But it's unfair that it had to happen, not to her, but it affects you too. So it's been unfair that that happens, because cancer just, or any disease, affects not just the person that has the disease, it affects everyone a lot. So I'm just really proud of the way that you have handled that. You know, I know maybe your retirement came a couple years too early. You'd like to have worked a couple extra years. That didn't work out, but you know, that maybe this was your time to play that role, and that's what God has asked of you, and you have played it really well. So I'm real, you know, proud that you have done that, and I'm not surprised. You never surprise me. And then Dylan just touched on it. So lastly, you know, blended families. We talked about it with Dylan's graduation last week, and just how, you know, crazy it is. I have 2 children of my own, and then I have 2 new children, and you treat all 4 of them the same. And that people don't do that. They just don't. And you did. You both do. And I'm really happy about that. I just can't thank you enough. Thank you.
Well, so what I would say is just the pleasure of having you both in my life has been amazing. Coming from a somewhat non-traditional family, family is very important to me, and having people that you love and can depend on, and that you know love you and want the best for you, there's nothing better in life. I think God intends us all to have happiness and joy, and when we can be with a family that provides that, it's something special, and it's something that we can't take lightly or take for granted. And I just know that from the very beginning, I just loved you all, and I know that you love me, and that makes me very happy, and I appreciate that.
Amen.
Thank you.
Hey guys, I really don't like this because I'm gonna hear Bruno.
I love you, baby.
I was begging y'all to finish.
All right.
We're almost done.
Okay, Natalie's gonna say something.
3 more.
For me, it's always been, every time I see you, we don't always share the most words or many conversations, but you always share a smile with me, and that sits with my heart and makes me really feel welcomed. So I appreciate you.
Following up on what Dylan and Joe said, you know, it's growing up, you don't think you're going to meet people that you meet. And, you know, growing up, parents divorced, so I'm not really sitting here thinking that I'm going to be at Christmas with a whole nother family that was never blood related. But, you know, over the years, you guys have been so great to us, and it just means the world to me to know that there's another family that's not actually mine, that is considered mine. And I just can't thank each and every one of you enough for being the family that you are to my family. And for that, cheers. Thank you.
Love you.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Marco.
Grandpa, I like Grandpa because he takes care of every one of us, and he loves one a lot. He loves every one of us a lot.
Thank you.
Amen.
Amen.
Cheers.
Jim, hang on a second. I wasn't expecting this at all, and I'm overwhelmed. I really am. I just, there's certain responsibilities, as I see it, that a father and a mother have. Jenny, I watch a lot of news, and I hear, and maybe this is out of line, but I hear of more people, more kids who are hit with school debt, and they leave their college and they've got X thousands of dollars that they owe in tuition. Well, I guess I can understand that to a degree, but I think it's just plain and simple. Now, there aren't the nuclear families, I guess, in the world today as there used to be, mother and father. But it's the mother and father's responsibility to take care of that, to pay that. Not to have you just walk out of the, you know, with your degree in hand and you owe X dollars, as probably a lot of your friends do. I don't know. I'm just saying this. I think there's lots of responsibilities that a parent has, and that's just one of them. But it's an important one to get you off the ground after you're out. Not paying your rent and not paying all this because you're adults, but to get you at least out of the starting blocks.
Good.
And
so you
on
don't
the race.
You don't want the money back?
And running the race. No, I don't want the money back.
Good.
And running the race. But to get to the starting line